Hi, I'm Borkon. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. And remember that thing behind me that I did in the last episode that I panicked and said, oh no, I have to fix my piglin bartering system right now because I am running out of gravel? Remember that thing? And the old thing that I just tore down? And now I'm in the old bartering system, tearing it down, and guess what I found? I found this. Yes, it's. Yeah, I completely forgot I had this. I completely forgot that all my bartering was done here, and I didn't bring all the gravel boxes back to my base, and I stored them here. I think I need to do something about my bulk storage situation so I can actually send stuff. Or maybe not send, at least carry stuff to some central bulk storage in my base, because, yeah, look at the amount of quartz I have here. I completely forgot that I had quartz. I was also running low on quartz. I didn't mention it in the previous episode because I'm not using so much quartz right now. But I have gravel. Nether bricks. I need to build something with nether bricks because I have too many of them. Crying obsidian, just the ridiculous amounts. And blackstone, of course. So, yeah, there was absolutely no panic to build that thing. I'm happy I did because it needed to get done. And I also needed to clean this thing up. It is gone now. I think I might have a double chest here. No, I just removed that double chest. So I can remove the rail that I used for the piglins here. Pick it up. Clean this area up because, well, now that I have a good render distance and everything isn't hidden in a fog, it's kind of starting to look a little bit ridiculous with dead farms or dead bartering systems littering the entire nether ceiling here. Nether roof, nether ceiling. I keep mixing those two up because in the two languages I speak, well, let's say natively, roof and ceiling is the same word. Why would you have a different word for the same thing depending on which side of the thing you're looking at? It's weird. But anyway, so yeah, here on the nether roof there is so much garbage, and I just wanted to clean it up, and yeah, it's good. And it's a good thing that we did this. This thing probably needs some building, but I have absolutely zero inspiration for what to do with a building here, especially after the fiasco of the last episode with that building that was just hideous. And I hope that, that episode is not out yet, so I don't know how people reacted, how much horror the ugliness of that building caused, but yeah, we have to live with it. Some things don't need to be fixed; they just serve as a reminder of past mistakes. That's why I'm not taking down my first videos, even though they were horrible. The sound quality was horrible, the editing was horrible, the pacing was horrible. I'm still not good at it, but I'm definitely, I hope I'm improving, so yeah. Anyway, this area is done. I have lots of gravel. Well, it's not done. I still need to tear that thing down. There's so much work to tear things down, mostly because like the only thing I'm doing is I'm just relocating stuff to more chests. And what am I supposed to do with these, by the way? Anyone has any good idea what I should do with zombified piglins' heads? I have a double chest here and even more here. Should I spawn-proof something with it? I don't know what to do with them. Like I'm just collecting them. Build a wall. Can you build something useful with them? I mean, There was an item filter that I just broke. It doesn't really matter. This looks horrifying. This looks even more horrifying. No, let's not use... Oh, why are they so hard to break? Okay, I will definitely not be using them for building things, because if you make a mistake, there's like almost obsidian levels of breaking them. Maybe I should use some other tool. Is it an axe? It's not an axe. Is it a shovel? It's definitely not a shovel. Is it a sword? It's not the sword. No, they just not breakable. You know what? Before I continue tearing this whole thing down, I need to move like, the contents of this, I do need a bulk storage. So, yeah, let's build a bulk storage, and let's just ignore the fact that I suddenly have like 400 more levels than before the previous clip, because yeah, okay, fair enough. I didn't decide that I need to build a bulk storage right now. I decided that I need to build a bulk storage several days ago, and I left this, yeah, I stayed AFK at the gold farm for quite a while I was in creative designing a bulk storage. So, we need to put up the bulk storage up here, because that's why I built this floor. And yes, this is where I want to have my entire storage system. I have not forgotten that I said many months ago that I want to rebuild the storage system. This is still true. And the flower farms would have to go away, and I would have to move the maps, but that's not a big deal. I mean, the maps will not get broken just because I move them somewhere else. Yeah, that's fine. So the bulk storage will be on this wing, and I guess it will just start here and continue for as long as we can go here, and I don't remember how many blocks this is. But I guess we will have space for... actually, let me measure this. Like, reference point here, and the distance here. Yeah, so almost 50 modules of bulk storage should be possible, and I probably don't have that many items that I need to store in bulk. So yeah, we're gonna build it here. But before we build it, we kind of need to think about what problem are we trying to solve here, really, because why wouldn't I just take a bunch of chests, like this, I guess, and make just like 50 double chests, a stack of them, and put the shulker boxes with all the stuff I need to store in bulk here, and call it done, right? That is pretty much everything that we need. Well, of course, that would be pretty much sufficient, but I like to automate things, and it wouldn't be fancy enough for my... actually, like, now that I'm mentioning it, this would almost be sufficient. But there are a few things I do want to automate here. I kind of want the system a little bit more fancy, and it also has a few other requirements. But to explain those requirements and to explain the thought process behind, well, what I actually did and why I gained so many levels while I was designing this, you need to go to creative. I need to show you the prototypes and the various iterations of the design that I finally settled on. So what is the problem we are actually trying to solve here? We want to store items that we have in large amounts, and we want only the items that we are actually storing in shulker boxes to be stored in a separate storage. Right, so the simplest thing we can do is just stack chests on top of each other, and oopsie, and we would end up with just chests of shulker boxes with whatever items we want to store in bulk. And yeah, I need to pick this up. It's becoming a little bit of a pain working in creative with lots of shulker boxes, because you end up with an inventory that looks like this. At the same time, I don't want to destroy them by pushing this button with shift, because yeah, then the chest that I have prepared here with shulker boxes will get destroyed, and it's a pain. So this is the easiest way I have found to deal with that. Go away and cover it up. Oopsie, cover it up, I said. And yes, there's many holes in this world that contain 50 shulker boxes that are just covered up with sandstone. Let's ignore that this has happened. But anyway, so we would end up with chests like this. And this is almost good enough. I mean, like, oh, I need some redstone dust. Then I take out the shulker box from this. I put it down here, and I can take out whatever redstone dust I want, close it up, and leave it here, right? This is pretty much enough. And we are a little bit crazy in the Minecraft world that we want to automate something that is almost this simple, because the act of taking out the shulker box, like taking out the shulker box from this and then taking out items from this shulker box, this doesn't really happen often enough to need to automate. Of course, we want to automate this anyway. Because, yeah, that's what people who do redstone do. We automate things that actually don't need to be automated. So I went on the internet and I started looking around at good shulker box displays. And this is a design I found. This is the best that I have found. Well, until yesterday. That's an interesting thing that happened yesterday. Yesterday, Rapscallion, the guy whose multi-item storage system I'm using, I think he was at least one of the authors, published a new shulker box display that is even better than this one. This one is by Samus the Sage, I think, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, it's a big system, as you can see. It's complicated, and it's very, very nice because you can take out items from this, and I can take out this stack. I can even take out this stack, and the shulker box doesn't break. I can put items back in, the shulker box didn't break, and I can pick out the last items here, and then it breaks the box automatically. But like I just mentioned over there, is this really necessary? Do we need this much machinery for something that happens approximately never? And by approximately never, I mean it's a thing that happens so rarely that why couldn't I just, like, I could just break this manually if I wanted to. And actually, if I break it manually, this thing breaks and I have to push the button and it becomes complicated. And this one has another problem as well. So I want to have access to the bulk storage because sometimes I don't just need one box, especially of things like stone or cobblestone or concrete or whatever it is. So I sometimes want to pick out maybe 5 or 10 shulker boxes of it. So this thing would have the shulker boxes here, right, up here. And this is where the access to the storage would be. And I can reach this, but this is awkward. This is way too far. And by the way, notice how all these shulker boxes are getting sucked into the system. There's 9 shulker boxes here. There is bunch here. There's bunch here. There's bunch here. So in most cases, let's say I need 10 shulker boxes, I would still need to pull them out from this dispenser. It's not a big deal, I guess, to wait for them to pass through all the hoppers, but it's just, this is unnecessary complex. And I went on my Discord server and I complained about it. Actually, I complained about trying to design my own of these ones and how complicated it became. And in fact, the big problem with these machines is not actually detecting or like the features that this thing has. That's, well, this is a big problem to implement, but I don't consider it a huge problem that the box will get destroyed the moment you remove the last item. This is a very nice feature, don't get me wrong, but it's slightly unnecessary. But I complained about breaking shulker boxes. So Boyan, as usual, came to the rescue and said, "Why are you doing it so complicated? Why can't we have a system like this?" I put shulker boxes in here. I take out whatever items I want, taking out all the items. See, nothing happens. I close it, nothing happens, because, well, now I need the next shulker box, and I can pick it up manually. And this is a very, 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 very simple system. And for a while, I settled on this design. This is not exactly the design that he showed me, but it's pretty much the same. And yeah, as you can see, it is stupidly simple. I think that there is actually a way of making it even simpler, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm not going to use this design. I'm not going to use this design, even though I kind of like it for its simplicity and for its, well, it is some kind of a statement that you are doing automation, that instead of having hoppers here, I am the hopper. I am the item filter. I'm picking up the broken shulker boxes. And while yes, this is some kind of a statement that says, well, I can be my own hopper. I don't need hoppers to take care of stuff for me. And since we are breaking these shulker boxes so rarely, that is almost good enough, but I want a little bit more automation in the system I'm gonna use in my survival world, because, of course, we want unnecessary automation, even though it's unnecessary. Well, unnecessary automation is by definition unnecessary. So I started designing my own. with a little bit of a compromise. I wouldn't break the shulker box automatically, because that is actually painful. That is what makes this mechanism so huge. But when I empty the shulker box, I would break it by pushing this button. And this does work, kind of. This actually doesn't have to be a fence gate anymore. And it doesn't matter. This is the... Well, I wanted to say the first prototype. This is like the 5th or 6th prototype of a machine that does this. And I think this one is relatively reliable. The problem with it is that, well, its reliability comes from the fact that there is... For this shulker box, we actually need 8 or 9 hoppers to pick it up. So if I had these next to each other, because of course these are one wide, tileable, so the way it would work is that we have the shulker boxes up here. They are accessible in bulk. If I ever run out of shulker boxes in the double chest, I can still take them out from the hopper or the dispenser. Yeah, it means that I cannot build these things in, but I'm kind of okay with that. It's fine. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's good user interface. And for storage systems, user interface beats aesthetics, unfortunately. This thing kind of works, but I don't want that many hoppers. And we'll get to the hoppers again soon, because there is a lot of things I did with the hoppers. So this is like the 4th or 5th prototype I did, and I actually don't need these fence gates anymore. But this is an interesting thing. The fence gates don't really push the shulker box, so making it fly, so it falls a little bit more reliably, but it's not particularly reliable, so the shulker box can fall here, or here, or here, and it can also fall one block to the side, so like everything will have to be covered in hoppers, and that's kind of ugly. So I did the second prototype. We can break the shulker boxes, we don't need to see them right now. Or I'm saying the second prototype. This is like the 5th, 6th, or maybe even 7th prototype that doesn't do this fence gate thing, and I don't remember why I did it. It's no longer necessary, at least. It might have been necessarily earlier, it's definitely not necessary. So we just break the shulker box with a piston. And yes, there is some crosstalk, because we are powering the dispenser directly with this observer. I am okay with this, because there is no reason for the shulker boxes to not hang here, regardless of which one gets powered. So I'm okay with this. When we're breaking, we're only breaking one. And they are falling quite reliably. And yeah, this works. But then I simplified it even further. And this is the most simplified version I have. Let's put some shulker boxes in this one and see how it works. We just push this note block whenever we either want a new shulker box or want to break the one that's hanging here. And it sends the signals through the observers here. It lengthens the signal with the repeater here so that the piston fires for a longer time. So it extended for a longer time. That makes it more reliable that the shulker box will fall into this hopper. In fact, I have tested this now for... how many are there? I filled all these with shulker boxes 3 times, and I broke all of them, and yeah, none of them got lost. So I think it works. And by the way, if you ever want to do something like this and want to test the breaking of or any machine, and you want to test it 1,000,000 times clicking, do something like this if you have the carpet mod. Tick rate 400. Now the game is running 20 times faster, so I can do... And thank you, game, for making me a liar. I am not joking. I have tested around 30 double chests full of shulker boxes doing this. Like literally just this. Not even a clock, but just clicking, 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 clicking. And it has always worked, except this was the first time it has failed. I'm okay with this. This is not a huge deal. So this is how it's supposed to work. Because the last problem I need to deal with is this line for empty shulker boxes. Well, normally we would just have a hopper line here, we'd be fine with that. I don't want to have unlocked hoppers in my base, at least hoppers that are not sucking things from something specific. just an exposed hopper. I don't like them. They are causing lag. Well, a single hopper doesn't cause lag, but you end up with, well, I have currently 1200 hoppers in my base. If they were all exposed, that would already start causing issues, and I don't want these kinds of issues. So I started trying to think, like, how do I make sure that this hopper is locked and only gets unlocked when we are sending the empty shulker boxes to some storage in that direction? Not this thing. This thing is irrelevant now. And here are some of the experiments. This is actually a surprisingly hard problem. This is the closest I got with the first approach I tried, which is just a repeater line. Unfortunately, every repeater here has a delay of 8 ticks, so 4 redstone ticks, 8 real game ticks. Unfortunately, each hopper has to be unlocked for, like, this has to be unlocked for 8. Well, we need to unlock this hopper, then 8 ticks later we need to unlock this hopper, and 8 ticks later we need to unlock this hopper. You get the picture. So the problem here is that if I... Do I have any shulker boxes here? No. Oh, well, let's put some shulker boxes in here. This is now moving fast, but I think the shulker boxes are getting stuck. Yeah, here. And that's pretty obvious what happens, because the shulker boxes are moving slower than this signal. Let's slow the game down to normal speed so we can see how the signal travels. Yeah, something like this. This is not acceptable. This doesn't work. And here's my next attempt. Now, this actually makes the signal move by 1 block per 8 ticks. So it moves in the right speed in this direction, but there is just no way I could figure out to power these target blocks to turn off the torches to enable the hoppers again. So this doesn't work either. Like, I just couldn't figure this one out either. It is close. The signal is moving in this direction at the right speed, but we are not unlocking the hoppers correctly. And yeah, I tried putting redstone dust like this, but this doesn't really work. And then I tried putting redstone dust like this, and this doesn't work. If I add this whole thing just locks up, because this is permanently turned on, right? So I can't have that. And now this is never powered, so I need to power things like this. And now, no, this just, like, you can see what I'm trying to do here. Build it in your own creative world and try to figure it out. I don't know how to figure it out. And I almost gave up, and then I had an idea. I only need to unlock the first hopper, or the first 2 hoppers, wherever the shulker box will be falling. So I need to unlock this, and maybe this and this as well, initially. And then I can just look at the hoppers with comparators and unlock the hopper that happens to have the item in it. Because if the hopper is unlocked, it will push the items to the next hopper, which will then be seen by this comparator that there is an item in it, which will get unlocked now through this mechanism. It's absolutely not complicated. It kind of looks like an item filter because it's almost what it is, except it's just an item filter that is filtering on one item. Is there an item in the hopper? Yeah, then unlock it. And this works very well. So yeah, this is the design I think I'm gonna be going for. It's exactly what I showed here. It's this design, except we also have an observer looking down here so we can unlock the hoppers. That's it. That's everything. And I'm gonna build up a few of these modules in my survival world now, and let's see what comes next after we've built this. And yeah, that's it. I am very, very underwhelmed. Sometimes you spend many, many hours. In this case, it was actually several days of investigation, experimentation, prototyping, and the end result is so ridiculously underwhelming. But I think this will fulfill all my needs, at least for now. I might actually want to place the double chests on this side. I'll figure that thing out later. And of course, this is not the end of it. There will be probably more chests. I'll have to see how much I'm gonna store in this, especially things like blackstone and gravel. and sand as well, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna change my sand maker into loading shulker boxes, so I'll be sending shulker boxes here. And a future addition for this thing is, of course, a shulker box sorter. So something where I will be throwing in full shulker boxes, or I'm not going to be throwing them in. Some system that I will design and implement later will be throwing shulker boxes into this, so that the shulker boxes get automatically sorted. And maybe some shulker box loaders. I think I already, well, I don't think. I know that I have shulker box loaders already. So I might start trying to take, for example, my sugarcane, right? This is this. Yes. I need to send my sugarcane up there, but yeah, it's a stupidly simple project of placing these blocks took 5 minutes. It's was absolutely nothing, but it's a project that took several days of planning and thinking and designing, and I decided on a like yes, I know it's underwhelming, but sometimes the detail is in the planning. So, like I said, in the future there will be shulker box sorters up here. I will have to look up a good design that I like. I still haven't really researched that topic. That might also end up being one of those 5 days of planning, 10 minutes of building episodes. And I will definitely be adding more of them as I need them, because this will not be enough for my needs. I just needed to place something to see how it would feel, how it would look. And I guess we need to move things into this. So yeah, this was much more than I expected. And you know what? I only built this many modules because I thought, I'm not gonna need that much bulk storage, and I will probably need to expand it in the future, I guess. That's what I thought. Like for things like wool or concrete or stuff like that. No, I already need 4 more modules for stuff like cobblestone, because of course we need the bulk storage for cobblestone, bone blocks. This chest is full of shulker boxes of bone blocks. I have more bone blocks in other places. This is just the stuff I had in my main storage here. Gravel, of course. I still haven't put the gravel in here because, like, I went stone and blackstone first because there is absolutely no order to these. Probably need some order, but that's later. Never bricks. I have millions of them, so I probably need to put them in a bulk storage, but it's not an item that I really need accessible. But I guess that's what bulk storage is for. So yeah, we are already expanding this thing, even though I didn't expect that I would even need this. This is absolute crazy amount of resources I have already gathered, and I'm planning even bigger farms. A little bit of madness, but yeah, it's fun madness. I like this kind of madness. And this actually shocked me how many bone blocks I have. And yeah, the Wither Skeleton farm is ridiculously productive. But yeah, I will expand this, and that's it for today. It's a very little building in this world for an episode, but like I said, sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes you spend a lot of time planning for 5 minutes of execution, and that's just the way things work. I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, have a nice bulk storage in, I guess, something other than an ender chest that I threw at you. Bye.